even know why I keep thinking about this. 2021, 2022, we saw one of, if not the biggest scams we've ever seen. Like we've been conned, us, the public,
Are you talking about the
the
pandemic?
royal we. Well, that's, now you were going conspiracy, right? But we're talking about, like crypto, and we're talking about
I knew you were going there.
um the companies like Serranos, like all these scammers. Obviously most of it 2021, 2022, started in crypto. But what lives in my mind for some reason are con men, like people who can get into people and have them psychologically make them do things because they know how social things work, right? I keep running into my head the times if I ever run across a con man, a really good one, and I'm just screwed because whatever I say, they probably know more about the law than I do, or like they know what they can get away with. And because they're like really confident people, they can sometimes get their way. It's like luck is on their side somehow.
Uh-huh.
I keep thinking about it. Sometimes I dream about it. It's like, what do I do if I ever run across a con man and I get scammed? Like,
Well, what kind of con man are we talking about, and what kind of scam are you talking about?
right. So here's one, right? Like one that lives in my head. Your tire, like hits a spike and it blows, right?
Run
And you
over
need
a
to
nail.
replace the tire,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
Guy comes in, don't know he's a con man, but he totally is. Offers to fix your tire or whatever. And again, this is one of the things that like I dreamed about. Um, Pretends to be smashed by the car because he was trying to change your car or whatever, and sues you for injury, and
So you're
and
talking about those
starts
people
making
like
up stuff.
over, like in foreign countries that run up to the car and jump on the hood and pretend like they got hit.
So that's one of them, right? Like that's, I mean, it still happens here in the U.S. too, but like that's one con thing, but that's an easy one. I'm talking about clever. I'm talking about
So you're not talking about like a
like
repairman that comes to your house to fix your to check your air conditioner, and he sabotages it and says, "Oh, you need like $5,000 worth of repairs or
no,
new
I'm
unit."
I'm also talking about that. Like that's
Uh-huh.
a clever scam, right? Like that's a clever con act.
So
Um,
one that I thought of was that a person breaks into your car, right,
okay.
or into your house, and then like a week or 2 weeks later, he comes by with a card and says, "Hi, my name is Johnny Johns, and here's my card to install security systems." Bam. You're like, man, where were you like 2 weeks ago? Well, he was in your house or in your car. you know. So that would be kind of like a scam. I don't know if that's a con necessarily, but it's definitely a scam.
Well, well, that would be considered a con because he did stuff, right?
Mhm.
Like got away with it, right? Like I consider, well, one, you need to exude confidence about, like, because he's totally trying to sell you something that he totally did, and he
Mhm.
had all the confidence to get you to do it. So that's another thing. Like that's a feature of what a con is. And also another one is like if they know more about something, let's just say like they know more about the laws of the road,
Mhm.
and then they like sideswipe you, and then they come out of their car and they go, "Why did you do that for?" And then they have it all on the dash cam,
Right.
and they try to act like you bumped them at the
Right.
side of the road, when in reality they did it, and that's another con, and that lives in my head. And I'm like, what am I gonna do if they try to do this?
Yeah, they had that with people who would like jump in front of you and like brake check you, and you basically rear ended them.
Mhm.
Right.
And there was nobody had any dash cams, so it was like, yeah, they
Is yours
basically,
against them. You hit them in the rear. So,
yeah, yeah.
mhm.
Yeah, and you're not, you don't have the right on that in that case. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
because you
sure.
weren't following like a two car lengths behind or whatever. So you're
Right.
Mm.
automatically at fault. Yeah. Um, One scam that was uh popular when I was in high school, and this was never verified, but there was this company that installed high-end sound systems in cars, right? And then like maybe a few months later, that car would get broken into and the high-end sound system would be stolen. So
Oh
the theory
man.
was that they were installing the sound systems, uh, stealing them, and then reselling them, and then
There was
rinse and
yeah.
repeat.
There was
Yeah.
a company locally here who did that with car engines, and I think it would be in California. They would basically put in these like Japanese engine swaps, and then they would just come and like steal the engine or something out of it, and they would after they did the work and
Mhm.
just basically resell the stolen engines.
Yeah. So there's lots of scams. I mean, a con to me would be, like you said, a guy saying, "Hey, buddy, you need ice cubes in your igloo?" And you're like, "Oh, man, that's really a great idea." And you're freezing, but he can sell you ice cubes because he's
Yeah,
so
but
good.
I
no,
think that's
that's
just
not
a
a
good
con, man.
salesman.
That's just a
Yeah,
great salesman.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's just a great salesman.
Okay, so that would be a con to
No,
me
no,
because I
no.
don't need no ice cubes. I'm in the igloo.
I would say a con man's definitely within the realm of scams, right? Like scams up here, and then a
Mhm.
subset of a scam is being a con man. And
Okay.
and and I personally think that a con man is a very confident individual who knows more about a specific topic than you, and he also knows how to manipulate you because they're psychopath or something. I don't know. They're sociopaths,
Sociopath.
and and they try to get you to do things their way, despite being douchebags. Like just not good people.
I mean, I don't know
Um,
any way around that outside of maybe just you'd have to make yourself a little knowledgeable in like all aspects of something.
And that's why
What?
you always get a second opinion or a third opinion before you
Mhm.
pull the trigger on anything, because some people be like, "Oh, my air condition is leaking," and they call somebody and go with the first estimate that they get, and they get totally, you know, rolled over. And I was like, get a second opinion, get a third opinion.
Yeah,
So that's
I
with
think
and
the
that's not the thing that lives in my head though. It's the ones that you don't have the time to think about. The con man who doesn't give you a minute to think. Where
that's when
I,
you
here
that's when you walk away.
here's
If
here's
you
another dream I had. This one you can't walk away. Another dream. You're with your kids, Otis. You're driving. You're going to an amusement park. You show your ticket. You bump into some guy, and then he's like, "Oh, that's my ticket," and he grabs your ticket, and he drops his ticket that's expired or something that it's not for that day, and he walks
uh-huh,
out.
uh-huh.
And then you try to stop him. It's like, "Hey, I think you have my ticket." No, I have my ticket. And then he keeps going. What do you do? He just keeps going. He keeps going
I'll
and
say,
cashes in the ticket.
"Sir, you are misinformed, you are misled, and you are wrong.
No,
Talk
and
to
then but he
to
keeps
this or
he, you
talk
know
to
he
these."
then he calls the cops, right? Like he always
The cops can
con men
come and look at
always.
my ticket that's valid and see that he has an expired ticket or no ticket, and then I
Well,
get in and he gets out.
that's true, but the situations are like that, and it's quick. It like he doesn't give you time to think. Like that scares me, and I hope I never meet a
The most
person
high pressure
else like.
sales situation are people that work on commission. When you walk into a store and they swarm you like flies to dung, and you're like, "Whoa, whoa," and they're like, you need this is the best one. That's
Yeah,
what you want is this," and you're like, "I don't want any of that stuff." So I just like tell them, "I'm not ready, I'm just looking. I'll come to you if I need something. And that's how I handle that kind of stuff, because those people are trying to sell, especially if you go to like a car dealership or something like that. I don't know how it is now post
mhm.
pan, but before you would walk in, drop to a car dealership, and they would be looking at you before you even parked. Like, "Oh, fresh meat. And as soon as you stepped out of your car, they're like, "Call!" They would, you know,
They greet you
send them.
at the car door.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's like, what are you looking for? What do you? So I was just like, I'm just looking. Let me give me some time. I'll come to you when I'm ready. And
yep.
that's you can kind of like hit it off and nip it in the bud. So that's how I would deal with it. Well, hopefully these dreams of yours will remain in the
the
dreamscape
dream
and
realm.
yeah,
I hope so.
never happen in real life, because that sounds terrible, like a panic inducing nightmare,
Yeah.
not a dream.
No
So
no Sandman type moments where they just come out of my imagination. That'd be
No.
pretty bad.
No good. No bueno. All right. Well, that's Paulo.
That's Keith.
That's Otis.
And we'll see you guys on our next drop. Peace.
Later.